Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, it is time once again for a What Are You Drinking Wednesday edition of The Outsiders. Texas is getting ready for a big football game with those Kansas State Wildcats. We're going to get into that. We got our Dick Move of the Week featuring Mr. Jason Dick. That's coming up. And we are hoping to speak with Michael Griffin tonight, although he does have some fathering of superstar athletes to do tonight. So we're going to see if the timing works out. We're hoping to talk to Michael Griffin. If not, we'll roll on the Outsiders and keep talking football. We appreciate everybody jumping in tonight on the Specs chat. Thank you so much for that. Wherever you are tonight, we're glad you're jumping in. And of course, if you're like me and if you're like Jason Dick's hat and you care about the World Series, the Texas Rangers are trying to win their first World Series championship. They have broken up a no-hitter that was going on. They have run the pitcher that was pitching the no-hitter, but whether or not they close it out, we'll find out. Maybe we'll even let you know during the Outsiders tonight. First and foremost, we should let you know about Colt in a poncho shirt. Outsiders brought to you by Poncho Outdoors, ponchooutdoors.com. There he is, and he's rocking purple for a reason because he wants a job, Minnesota, in case you're interested. Colt looks good in every color, and he'll fish in every lake you've got. ponchooutdoors.com. All right, let's hit it on a What Are You Drinking Wednesday. Your upper left tonight is always the quarterback. Actually, I should do it this way. That way, that's Chance Mock 5. What are we drinking tonight, Mock 5?
Oh, tonight we changed it up a little bit tonight, and I went with a little Crown Royal and water, just in celebratory of your lowercase Rangers, because there's probably more people watching us that have watched that series around the country. And so we're trying to bolster and celebrate. So Crown and water for you boys today.
All I've heard is ratings boom. I've heard it's one of the highest rated World Series.
Surely.
In the Dallas metro area, yes.
I don't even know if that's true.
I was going to say, that's from Plano to Hillsboro. I think it's been huge. I think it's been massive.
It has. I'll tell you what I heard is Ennis, every bar is loaded. Everybody in Ennis is watching that game.
I think you're right. I think you are right.
And
right,
Waxahachie.
And Waxahachie. Oh, they're killing it in Waxahachie.
Lancaster, all of them.
I know they're watching the Waxahachie, Italy, Forston, Red Oak. They're all watching. They're watching the Rangers. All right, your lower right tonight, we have converted him at least temporarily to the Rangers bandwagon. That's why he's rocking the hat. It is Jason Dick. Jason, what are you drinking?
First, I wanted to say excellent job as usual, Chad, on your professional broadcasting verbiage, designating yourself a Rangers fan and my hat. Because it's really just the hat. Yeah,
just
the hat. I mean, I'm not a fan, but it's in baseball. Okay, what are you drinking? Prepare to be very jealous, gentlemen, because I've broken out a special new one for you. Tonight we have an HEB Orange Burst Zero sugar. HEB Orange Burst Zero sugar.
That's beautiful.
See one of you guys top that. All right.
Yes. If you just go HEB Orange, it's so ordinary. Orange Burst, zero sugar. Now we're playing a man's game.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the big league.
And you say you don't get perks of being a one-on-one next morning host. You have to have like a special card to get into the back section of HEB to get not the Orange Burst, but the Orange Burst Zero. Like they don't have that for just every radio guy.
Most peasants don't get that, Jason.
Yeah. Well, if you guys need some, I know a guy, and I can hook it up. All right.
I'm still angling for look at this. I'm still angling. This year, Texas Tech versus Texas. It's the 20-year anniversary of the only highlight I had is a Longhorn.
Hey, how dare
I've been having to go. I've had to go through every phone number I have and still don't have sideline passes just for pregame.
That's a shame. You didn't ask Brett Yormark? He's really he's excited about that game. He can't get you down there?
Well, he's gonna be on the Tech sideline, so I can't I don't want to be over there.
Fair enough. I actually hear he's gonna be on the Tech sideline videoing the Texas signals. No, wait, that's a different story.
We gotta put on our glasses.
Yeah, right. Get the recording glasses.
Everybody get your special glasses and if you do that, you can see the signs.
Oh my God. All right. Our lower left tonight. It's the country gorilla. It's Bo Edge. Bo, what are we drinking tonight?
Brown water.
Oh, yeah.
Just brown water.
Little vacation started. I'm off work until next Wednesday. It's going to be real nice there, Clark.
That is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice that you're
I'm not off.
work.
I'm not off this show tomorrow night. So I'll be coming straight off the golf course for a buddy of mine that's getting married. So I should be in rare form, if you know what I mean.
Nice. I'm going with a Southern Star Strawberry Blonde tonight as the Rangers are trying to finish out this Game 5. We'll see if it works for them. There's a lot of Texas stuff to get into. Longhorns 7-1. We knew that. Now we know that there's another 7 in the CFP as of last night. We'll take a peek at that as we roll along. But let's start out, gentlemen, with this Texas-Kansas State game. Obviously a big one for Texas. Let's start with big performances you need to see. We'll take Malik Murphy out of the discussion as we've done with quarterbacks before. It's an obvious. Your quarterback's got to play well. Outside of Malik, give me somebody that has to be a stud, play like an All-American, play like a badass to get a win against Kansas State and keep things rolling. Jason, I'll start with you. Who do you need to step up Saturday morning?
Well, I don't know if he needs to step up, but just continue being the best offensive player Texas has, Jonathan Brooks. And I hope that Sark will make a game plan that features him early and often, get him the ball, pass off of the run. And yeah, just keep doing what the kid's been doing. Jonathan Brooks has been great, and I hope he continues on Saturday.
Not a bad place to start. We'll see if that's where Sark starts on Saturday. Bo Edge, give me somebody that needs to play like a badass.
JT Sanders.
Ooh,
This is the game. This is the type of game where it is going to be against a physical team that he's going to have to block. He's going to have to not be he's not going to line up a receiver for every snap. He's going to have to line up as a tight end and block for Jonathan Brooks that Jason mentioned, for Baxter or whoever. But on top of that, this is the type of game I'm calling it for Texas. It's a playoff game. You win this, you have a very high likelihood of getting to the Big 12 championship and potentially a playoff. If you lose this, you have this chance. You have no chance. You have the chance of me outrunning Jason Dick in the 40-yard dash from what I saw today on video. And I was slower than that. So that really made me reevaluate some of my life choices as I sit here and drink brown water. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, JT Sanders has to play like an NFL tight end to give Malik Murphy a weapon.
Yeah, obviously if Texas were to lose this game, still an outside chance they could get to Jerry World. Obviously no chance they get to the playoff, though, because 2 losses, you don't get in.
A&M has a better chance of making the playoffs if Texas loses again.
Whoa. There's no need to swear. I mean, really, I know it's a late night show, but there's no reason to bring the Aggies in when you're talking about that word. And come on, that's rude. Chance Mock, give me somebody that needs to play like a badass outside of the quarterback.
Okay, so mine is, I go back to the group that I started when we had this conversation at the very beginning of the year of what we needed to have to be successful, and it is the interior offensive line. That has to be shored up. They're going to have to run the ball in order at all for Malik to have that pressure taken off of him. Because if I'm Kansas State, and we'll get into it in a little bit, if I'm Kansas State, I am making him beat me with my arm, and I'm making him beat me with disguised coverages, dog blitzes, twist, and all sorts of things that are going to blow his mind. And so in order to do that, we're going to have to run the ball, and we're going to have to score on the goal line. When we get down inside the 5, field goals are not acceptable. Being stopped on the goal line in 4 plays is unacceptable, and it starts with those interior. We know what the tackles can do. Mm-hmm. We need those 3 guys in the middle to play well.
As you say that, I'm imagining one guy in a particular game. I think if you could dial up the Jake Majors that played against Kansas, for sure, on Saturday morning, I think Texas is in a great spot because he and that the rest of the interior was good too. Campbell was great, but specifically Majors, man, I thought he was awesome that day. Hopefully he'll be good against the other Kansas team.
It's a total different matchup, though.
It is. No, it definitely is. And how about this, gentlemen? I was looking at and Bo Edge, I'll give you credit for this because I was listening to different people talk about the matchup and talk about different things and what Sark could do or should do or will do or might do or whatever. It made me look back at his 2 games against Kansas State. This thought that he needs to understand Jonathan Brooks is the guy and he needs to understand the run game. You guys realize he's run the ball 84 times in these last 2 games against them? 84, 40 in one, 44 in another. Bijan had 30 carries last year, and 2 years ago, Roschon had 31 carries. He's got 2 wins against K-State. They're both one-score wins, by the way, something I bitch at him all the time about. He's only won 5 of those since he got to Texas, but 2 of them are against this team. Bo, something tells me you're a golf guy. Something tells me this particular course fits his eye. Something about K-State clicks this man into, well, damn, I need to run the ball.
Well, I think it's the scheme. It's the same. It's different. I'm not saying it's the exact same, but when everybody went to the three safeties and everybody started getting out, like taking away his things he liked to see, well, Kansas State does that across horizontally with these weird zone concepts, and they try to run tricks. Chance was mentioning twists and stunts on the line, but they try to do it with their secondary. They're looping guys, knowing it. They're trying to take away all the short passes, all the.
Uh-oh.
There's some real insight he was getting.
Oh, man. Hang on.
Oh, did I drop it?
No, you're good. Right there. You're good.
Okay.
We only missed like 5 words. Go ahead.
But all the eye candy that Sark wants to show, it's nullified by having that many guys at the line of scrimmage. And so it's like his kryptonite. But he was smart enough 2 years ago to say, screw it. We can run against this front. If they're not going to load the box and they're going to give us that open set, we'll take 5-6 yards a clip and then try to get deep shots to change up the defense. So I think it's smart.
Yeah. Go ahead. Where I would argue that is I think we have a difference at quarterback. We have a difference right now in a guy who showed he's got all the arm strength in the world. His footwork was very, very poor last week, and his decision-making capabilities quickly. And that comes with comfort. I'm not saying anything about whether he knows the offense or doesn't. It comes with comfort because no matter how much you practice, the speed in the game gets faster. And this game that he's about to play is going to be significantly faster than what he saw against BYU. And so I think it's a deal. They know this. To me, it goes back to the Bill Belichick rule. Do not let the thing you know can beat you, beat you. They know Jonathan Brooks can beat them. I think he's gonna say, we're stopping the run to the best of our ability. And I'm not sure that they can, but they're gonna do it to the best of their ability and take their chances of saying, all right, Malik, see what you can do.
Well, I don't disagree with you on what Kleiman's going to try to do, but what I do think is he's also a pragmatic coach, and he's seen what little tape there is of Malik Murphy. And if you're going to scheme that hard against the run, you're literally opening Pandora's box to let a guy that the best throws he makes are long distance throws, and you're going to give him
that. Though I think he gives him some real disguised coverages on the back end, and he plays with 7 in the box and then drops somebody out into coverage. And I'm positive he's going to give him some weird looks he hadn't seen. He's not going to see man-to-man, cover 2, cover 4, cover 6. He's not going to see that.
That's my point. If you're to stop the run, you're going to have to abandon some of those concepts to load the box. If they put 8 in the box, there's a lot less schematically they can do on the back end. And that's the only way Kansas State is going to stop Texas's running attack, is to put 8 in the box and commit to it with run blitzes. And if you do that, you have to go man outside. Am I missing something, Chance?
No, but I'm saying that they will show different looks. They're going to start with 7, 8 in the box, but you're going to have a linebacker screaming to the short side of the field to take away that short run. He's going to look like he's blitzing, and then you're going to have a twist in the middle and a safety rolling down with 2 corners high. There's going to be all sorts of weird shit that Malik is going to see. And he's going to see 8 in the box. That's what it's going to look like. Whether they get to that once the ball is snapped is a whole different deal.
Yeah, show something, maybe back it off a little bit. By the way, rush defense for Kansas State listed at 23 in the country, Texas 34 in the country running the ball. Now, on the other side of the ball, gentlemen, before we get to our first break here, give me a thought on the Texas defense, because Kansas State supposedly has the 5th best rushing offense. Texas is 14 defending the run, and I double-checked the numbers in terms of what they've faced. They've each faced a couple teams that are pretty good in the matchup. So where does y'all's trust sit with this defense to stop K-State's run? Jason, I'll start with you again.
Very high, very high.
Yeah.
That is the most trusted unit on the team by a large margin, in my opinion. And I don't think there's really much that you can do against them. If you want to run it, you want to pass it. I think that is, with the exception of the Oklahoma game and a little hiccup in Houston, The defense, I mean, last week was totally stellar, and I think that is the unit that I trust the most to continue on that road.
Bo, do you agree? You like the defense being able to stop that K-State run? Because if they can do that, I mean, that's what K-State wants to do. They want to get after you. Can Texas stop it?
I think so. And look, I'm going to keep beating the drum. We're getting a couple guys back that we need, specifically the cornerback that allows us to run the defense that we run, and that's Ryan Watts. That frees up. That allows them to get one more guy on the field sometimes because you don't have to be a nickel. You could slide Jade Barron out to that field corner and bring in a bigger body. That's when the Jet Bush comes in as a run-stopping linebacker, but not in it. You could go into different fronts and use the depth of the defensive line to stop that run. There's a lot of things Texas can do to stop them. I think Kansas State can stop our running attack, but I think we can come at it in waves, and we come at it. We're not just A gap, B gap running type team. We can try to stretch the field. We try to get creative sometimes when Sark's really dialed in. So I'll take that matchup to favor Texas.
By the way, for the football nerds out there, here's your moment in this game over and over again where you want to lean in, grab your popcorn and your HEB Orange Burst Zero Sugar. It's when Kansas State has a third down. They're fourth best in the country converting it. Texas is third in the country stopping it. And it's been a key in these last two wins for Sark against Kansas State 2 years ago. 1 for 9 for Kansas State. Last year, 5 of 12, which was all right, but Texas was even better than that. Third down has told a big story in this game the last 2 years. That is one to watch in this game because Kansas State wants to stay on that field all damn day. All right, Texas and Kansas State, of course, is an 11 a.m. kick. Kegs and eggs, get up early on Saturday, and we'll be talking about that throughout the week, obviously. Bo, once we get past football season and people get into warmer weather, or maybe even now, they might even be thinking about a vacation that's coming up in the wintertime. Let them know about Engage Vacation here.
Engage Vacations. It's the perfect scenario when you truly want to go on vacation. Like I was talking about how I'm off work for a few days for my charity golf tournament and a wedding and whatnot. It's not a vacation. It's fun. But a vacation is when you get away. You go to Mexico or the Caribbean or Fiji, or if you're a family type situation, Disney World. But you go on vacation. You get on a cruise ship. There's no better way to do it than with Engage Vacations. Scan the QR code right there. It'll take you right to their website. But if you go to Engage Vacations, they'll help you plan everything. Your dinner reservations will be taken care of. What excursions to go on, taken care of. No hassle, no fuss. No shopping for deals. They'll find you the best deal, and it's 100% free to you. 100%. It doesn't change your price whatsoever. Engage Vacations, 922-3322, but really just scan the QR code.
Nice. If it's free, I'll take 3 vacations, please. Thank you, Engage.
There
There we
it's
go.
free, it's for me.
It's free. That's right. I'll take it. That's what. That's the Brian Jones line. If it's free, I'll take 3. By the way, Brian Jones tomorrow, 1:20 on House Divided. We'll be talking lots of football with him. Lots of football to discuss. By the way, to Blake, the super producer, and anybody else that can see it, I cannot currently see the chat. So if y'all see great chat, throw it up there. I can't see it this week. All right. It is the Outsiders. It is a Wednesday. The Rangers are trying to close this thing out. Is it still 1-0 Rangers? I think it is. I think it's still 1-0 Rangers trying to close out the World Series. If I seem distracted, I'll try not to be. All right. So we're waiting on Michael Griffin. Hopefully he'll join the show at some point. But again, he's watching one of his kids in is it a football game? I'm assuming that. That may be a bad assumption, but one of the kids is playing some sport tonight. Michael Griffin's got to check it out. We hope he will jump in. That would shock me, Chance, if Michael Griffin has some talented, a talented son that could play football. I would be so shocked.
It's mind-boggling how he could create, it's almost like A. Ross and Sonia Ross together. Those two, good Lord. I mean, you want to talk about super athletes, and she's a better athlete than he was.
No doubt.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah, that's one of those couples when you start, going back and forth of, well, I've got 2 Super Bowl rings, and it's like, okay, sit down, honey, calm down. I've got this gold medal and that gold medal, and come on, world records.
That's really cute. I tell you what, we'll put your rings over here on this little shelf over here. All my stuff will go in the cabinet. Okay, that's cute.
Right. It's like they used to say about Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf, right? Andre'd start bragging about the 8 grand slams, and Steffi would say, "Sit down, honey. I got 22. Can you calm down, please?"
And then pull his wig off.
There's no need. And pull the wig off. Right. Then actually she got post wig Andre. Thank God.
Hey, and by the way,
that was the best Andre.
We did just get a text from our guy Chris Bennett, who's always in charge of things, and he says he believes Sonia's actually pregnant right now.
Is that right?
Oh,
all right.
Hopefully that's true, and if so, congratulations to the happy couple.
That is excellent. That will make our man Kevin Dunn, who we all know, very happy. Kevin was always very comfortable asking the most uncomfortable questions of that couple and telling them to procreate. It was both disgusting and kind of cool at the same time.
Was he trying to be the agent at the same time? Like, okay, I go ahead and sign this deal right now. Like,
yeah. It would
Aaron, I got your back. I got your back. If you sign this line to be so I can be your agent, I'll take care of the other thing too. It'll be a great night.
He was so weirdly consistent, whether he was talking to her or him or both of them. I've heard him ask the question in all 3 situations.
Would he offer instruction? What was it? What exactly?
It wasn't that, thank God. It was just a matter of, hey, what's the plan? And we got a calendar going. It's like, all right, man, calm down. Yes, if that is true, all the best to Sonia and Ross as well. And we'll hope to talk to Michael Griffin before the show is over. So I mentioned earlier, guys, Longhorns end up 7 in the CFP last night. And I think we may have it to throw up here to check out. But did anything jump out to you guys? Chance, let me start with you. Anything jump out to you about the first CFP? Ohio State ended up on top of the whole deal. Georgia at 2.
No, I really think it's where it needs to be. I think the interesting one, look, Ohio State deserved to jump Georgia. Even though I've been staunchly against that my entire life, I've always said, until you beat the king, you don't get to be number 1. But I think Ohio State's playing better football right now. I think Texas is right where they need to be. You know, I saw the deal with Greg McElroy and, the whole commentary on should Texas be or Oklahoma be up in front of Texas. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, Oklahoma beat Texas in a game where Texas literally had to play like dog shit. And they were literally not worth a shit on that particular day. I mean, it's just the fact. Oklahoma played probably their best game of the year. Texas played arguably their worst game of the year, and they beat them at the end of the game on a last-second touchdown, okay? Then they get ass-waxed by freaking Kansas and their backup quarterback. So that argument goes out the window to me. You know, Oklahoma had their destiny in their hand. They went into the big bad Lawrence, Kansas in front of 13,000 people and laid an absolute egg. You don't get to be ahead of Texas when that's what you've done. Not to mention the body of work. Texas dominated in Tuscaloosa. Oklahoma had Texas in a neutral stadium in the worst game of their year, and they played the best. So spare me. I mean, look, I gave Oklahoma credit after that game. I was there. They played a phenomenal game. They dominated the line of scrimmage. I feel like they out-schematiced us. And they played a better game. But you know what? They're not the better team. I said it that Monday. I said the best team didn't win on Saturday, but the best team there Saturday won. That's the way that it was. And I think the rankings are right.
Interesting. Just excuse me, gentlemen, 1 second. Buy ass wax. Sorry, just going over the grocery list. Okay. So Jason, when it comes to that point, this has been discussed throughout the week. I'm okay with the way they laid it out because if you're right next to somebody in the rankings, I'm a big believer in head-to-head if your record is the same. But I agree with what Chance is saying. Plus, let's think about how Oklahoma just lost. They lost to a team that was unranked at that moment and a team that is now way lower ranked than the loss Texas has. So I get it. I get why Oklahoma slipped. Did you have an issue with it at all?
I can't believe it's even a question. It is. I can't believe it's even. I mean, I'm not surprised that OU would come up to argue it. But it's weird that the 2 ranking systems that we have, the college football, the playoff committee, and then the AP, are so drastically different in the way they approach things. If you look at the AP, almost the entire country is voting Georgia number 1. And everybody knew the playoff committee was going to put Ohio State number 1 because they have always said, although they don't really like to tell you what their criteria is, they grade on resume much more than they do on how good they think the team is. So they put Ohio State One, because they have big wins against Penn State and against Ohio State. And so, if you look at it as an equation, as a data point, you have one good win, Oklahoma, a last-second miracle win versus Texas, and then you have a disaster loss. And the rest of your resume is not so great. So I don't even really understand how it's an argument. Some of the things that I thought were interesting, because if they're going by that sort of we're grading by resume look, Florida State has a better resume than Michigan, without a doubt. And frankly, better than Georgia as well. So the fact that they put Florida State at 4, I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, not a brag, but I correctly predicted 1, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the playoff rankings. I guess that is a brag.
Hey, and I will say, to the way that things often equal themselves out, and I have forever said that until you beat the king, you can't be the king. Georgia's got 4 tough games coming up. Really, really tough games. They win those games, they're right back at number 1, because there's no way that you look at their schedule and don't have them number 1.
Yeah. And here's my thing. I have some issue, but I get why Ohio State's number 1. I do think when you're the 2-time defending national champion and haven't lost yet, I'm sorry, you keep your damn spot at the top. But that's okay. That's fine. It doesn't matter, except for those games that they're going to play at the end if everybody qualified, which so it does matter. And that's where my problem is with Michigan being ahead of Florida State. Like, that was put there strictly in place to keep Michigan and Ohio State separated to where they could be the final. If it ends up going, I'm not saying there's an angle there. Florida State has the win. LSU, Chance's side piece, we kind of laugh like LSU kind of sucked, and that game was terrible, and they had turned the ball over a lot, and Florida State dominated them. Well, guess what? Florida State, my pick to get to the playoff, did their job. LSU just ran into a buzzsaw that night. LSU has performed very admirably since then and is in the top 15. What's Michigan's big win? Can anybody tell me one team that Michigan beat that had a pulse?
Well, they're a little bit worried about Central Michigan because they're putting coaches on the sideline.
I mean, Indiana. I mean, like
so,
they
Bo,
played a bag of crap.
Are you saying that by putting them at 3, this is a future ploy to try and, if somehow the Michigan-Ohio State game is super close, they can put both of them in?
They can at least consider it an option, because guess what? Michigan's freaking AD is in the damn room. Like, I'm sorry, but that should be like, if there's a problem when the AD of a team that's in the top 5 is in the room, and he can recuse himself all he wants. Like, what? I don't care whether it's Michigan or Ohio State. This isn't some anti-Michigan thing. It's what the hell are you doing where the system involves the people involved making decisions on who gets to go play?
Yeah, but and you said the right word, recuse. They do that. Any discussion they have that involves Michigan.
Yeah, but guess what?
He has to leave the room.
Well, yeah, but then they still vote, and he has one.
Right. Look, this again. I use the word all the time. It's a pageant. Okay, we got it. We were at a pageant season. Ththese are pageant judges.
You guys think when an AD recuses themselves that they totally talk shit about him while he's gone? Like when Bo freezes, we totally talk shit about him.
Here's the question.
I have 2. Razor tells me all about it. That's why he broke your ankle in that move that you had to take off a whole week of traditional radio because my 12-year-old son whooped your ass.
So hold on, Bo, because I think this is interesting. Going back to the conversation we had about the riveting, highly rated World Series that is on some TVs across America. Throw that back up there, Blake. Throw that original ranking up there. If you're looking at this from the outside, what game right now do you think for the national championship that the TV viewers of America would want to see?
Of America?
Yeah, because if you go like with Bo's deal, because this is what made me think of it, you go Michigan State, Ohio State, okay? You're going one region of the country. And yeah, guys like us that love football, we're going to tune in because that's going to be fun as hell to watch. But for the everyday watcher, somebody in New York or in Florida or in California or in Washington, who's turning that game on?
Right. They want Georgia, Ohio State.
That would be the one that I would think.
Yeah.
That would be what they want, but they want.
And I'm not saying this as a homer. Texas brings a lot of eyes, especially as long as they've been out of it. I think there's an outside chance of rooting for Texas to be in that because Texas makes it back to a national championship and the viewers will go through the roof.
Yeah. Texas, Michigan. That is a ratings
Texas,
bonanza.
Michigan would be – well, the point I was making on Michigan is they're setting them up to where if they lose to Ohio State, they don't fall as far. Like if Michigan was at Michigan's resume should have them at 5 or 6. Like Washington should be ahead of Michigan. Florida State should be ahead of Michigan. But Michigan, like everything else about it makes sense. But that's the one thing that doesn't is that Michigan has been hyped up to be better than teams that actually beat teams. Washington beat Oregon, who's also in the top 10. So Washington has a big win. We can say it was us over Bama. Their win over Oregon is equally as impressive as far as within that realm of strength on strength. I liked ours better dramatically, but I could see how somebody could make the case that that was a bigger win. Florida State has a win over LSU, who's a strong football team. Michigan, like Ohio State, at least beat Penn State.
The guy that's going to win the Heisman this year, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, as of this moment, you can make a pretty clear argument. Texas's win is better than Florida State.
So Chad, you can't see this. You can't see this, but currently Texas has the 9th strength of schedule. Bama's at 8th. Ole Miss at 10th. Ohio State is at 15th. Georgia's at 100th, and Michigan's 112th.
Yep, yeah. That's it. One of these days they'll figure out that scheduling maybe after we're all dead. But I mean that's how it works. That's what they do. The SEC's been doing that for years to hide certain teams and manufacture 9 and 10 win teams. That's what it is. Texas and Oklahoma, y'all can be a part of that too. Starting next year, they will help you do it, and they'll probably stay at 8 conference games and keep on rolling and do it the way they do it. But it is, and y'all are right to bring up the Michigan schedule, which has been brought up. Chance is right that Georgia's schedule is at least going to get interesting. Who the hell thought Missouri at Georgia was going to be this interesting, right? The way Missouri has played has been impressive. That's now a big-time matchup, so we'll see. I got one more question for y'all.
And Texas fans better be pulling, by the way, for Georgia in that game, because there's a certain wide receiver recruit that is, I think, still not completely done, and they go in and beat Georgia. Things get real interesting.
I see. So you say Texas fans need to root for the dogs in that one.
Yes, they do.
I like that logic. Okay, that's not bad. I got one more question for y'all, but before we do that, Bo, let's tell them about the headgear. Upper right, it says Last Stand. Every time we get an interview, it is brought to you by Last Stand hats. Bo, give them a little love.
Last Stand hats, a true fans brand. They also have polos, hoodies, backpacks, not just for Texas, but plenty of other schools. I went on and ordered, I hope my mother-in-law is not listening, but we ordered a hoodie for her because it was a cool-looking hoodie for her Rice Owls. Last Stand hats. Promo code is Outsiders10. You scan that code, take you right to the website. They also are the hat provider for the Super Cooper Golf Tournament that we have on Monday. So they are just great people. Like, I love Last Stand, and you will too. They bring us every interview. Hopefully we get Michael Griffin on tonight. If not, you'll hear me trumpet the wares of Last Stand one more again, because we'll have an interview tomorrow.
Beautiful. There it is. Before we hear about Jason's incredible golf game, let me ask you all another question here. Thank you for scanning that QR code. Blake, throw that CFP up for me one more time. Gentlemen, focus on the row right below the big dogs, right below 4, from 5 to 11. Are there any pretenders in there for you? Are there any teams you
Oklahoma
really feel like can't make a playoff?
Oh,
Jason, you say OU?
Yeah, look, Oklahoma, they beat Texas when we did absolutely everything wrong in so many moments. The turnovers, the inability to get it in on the goal line, and then some clock management sort of oops that we gave them the chance to run down the field on us. Their one win is, in my opinion, sort of a shadow win, and they've looked bad in so many other contests. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying they're the worst team, but they have no chance to make the college football playoff. They have no chance.
Interesting. I feel like I'm going to need to see Texas play the next couple games before I would say they need to be in a playoff discussion. I'm not sure if Texas or OU does, the way each of them are playing, the inconsistency. Anybody else? Like, I don't know if I've heard people say they think Penn State is legit, fellas. I don't believe in Penn State getting to a playoff.
No.
Okay.
Penn State still has to. If Penn State plays one other team with a pulse, they'll have 2 losses.
Right.
Like they're not that good, and Ohio State proved that. And the score was not indicative of that game. Penn State scored late just to get within double digits. Like, it was not. Ohio State dominated that game from start to finish. The one that really They're going to get exposed this weekend, and this is where you get a little love from me, Chad.
Okay.
Ole Miss.
Wow. Okay.
Ole Miss. This is what Ole Miss does. There's a reason Ole Miss, Penn State, and Oklahoma are all lumped together where they're at, because this is where they're at every year about this time if they've already lost a game, and everybody's still talking about them having an outside shot, and then they end up a 3-loss team. This is an Ole Miss team that will lay an egg a couple times over, and they'll talk about what could have been if they didn't have that 5-interception day by Johnny Dumbass or whatever their quarterback's name is every year. Like, it doesn't matter because the story doesn't stop repeating. Ole Miss and Penn State are fool's gold every year.
I don't know. Chance and I were talking today. When Johnny Dumbass throws that out route, it is perfect.
It's great 8 times, and then there's the one time it's not, and it goes 6.
I hope you are right about that this week, Bo, because I think Ole Miss is going to wear my Aggies out, but I hope you are right. Chance, any pretenders for you kind of in that group? Like, is there anybody you're not buying?
I mean, we hit a couple of them. I think the interesting one for me is you put them on a neutral field. I think Oregon's a better football team than Washington. And Washington won, and I get it. Washington's a good team, and Penix is a good quarterback. Well, he's a great quarterback, and he's going to play well at the next level. But the thing is, Oregon's a better football team. If you put them on the same field, a neutral field, and let them go at it, I think Oregon boat races them maybe by 10 or more, to be honest with you. That's where I think the disparity is, to be honest.
If I can answer
that
the
and
opposite,
the black cloud that follows Bo Nix around every program he goes to, because if it's a game that matters, no matter if he throws for 500 yards, they're going to find a way to lose.
The opposite answer to your question, Chad, is Oregon. I think they're better than some of the teams on the top row up there, and they need some things to fall right for them. But yeah, 34-year-old Bo Nix, I think, is going to make the college football playoff.
Okay,
and let's see if
I really have to not that point. The other one. This is the same Oregon team that needed magic to beat Texas Tech. Like this, we're making Oregon out to be this world beater.
They were in Lubbock.
Oregon,
weird things happen in Lubbock.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Oh, okay. And yes, I know the Big 12's supposed to go through that freaking manure town, but no. Who has Oregon beaten that was that impressive?
Utah. They went to Utah 4 days ago and destroyed a team that nobody wins there.
Well.
That was the
Utah.
perfect answer.
You gotta
Hold on. That was the first time in the history of ever that I think Bo was completely stumped. He went to it.
Well done. Well done.
I took an angle to make fun of Texas Tech, and you called me out with realism.
I apologize.
Okay, fine. They beat Utah on their third-string quarterback, but yes, they beat Utah.
Bad teammate. If I was a good teammate, I'd just joined you and alley-oop dunked on Texas Tech. My bad.
That take had nothing to do with Oregon. It was just an anti-Texas Tech thing.
That
is fantastic. How dare you, Jason, especially after all of that good golf that Bo helped you play. Why don't you tell the people? Why don't you make up for it by telling the people about Star Ranch?
Now I do feel like I'm in trouble because I love my guy Bo Edge, who hooks me up with great tee times at Star Ranch. If you want one, just click the QR code there. Call 252 Golf. It is the best golf course in all of Central Texas. That's why I believe Monday there's a big event there, the Super Cooper, which has been there for how many years, Bo?
This will be the 9th year we've had it.
Ninth year.
We got 150 people out there, including a bunch of ex-Major League Baseball players, Texas Longhorn football, basketball, baseball players, a lot of baseball players. It's going to be a hell of an event. So
it's a blast.
It really is.
And just not just in part, but because Star Ranch, such an incredible golf course. I was out there a couple of weeks ago. You guys will be shocked. Didn't really bring my A game, but I go to have fun, and that's the perfect course to have fun on. The fairways lush, greens roll true. 252 Golf, or click the QR code, scan the QR code right there. It's Star Ranch Golf Club.
That's the beauty of golf. That's the beauty of golf. Golf doesn't really need your A game. Pro golf does, but regular golf, not really.
Yeah.
This is six-man scramble golf.
Out of your sleeve.
Like, this is like a scramble on steroids, Jay.
Yeah.
You've been in it before. Like, you really don't have a lot of pressure on you when there's 6 of you.
Oh, dude. No, there's been times in this tournament, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, to be honest with you. And there's been times when I've hit it like into the neighboring golf course, and then all of a sudden a ball dropped out of my pocket, like right in the middle of the fairway at like 320. It was gorgeous.
Well, that was just because they were shooting it out of the golf ball cannon, Chance, which is conveniently located on the 13th tee box.
How does that happen? Shout out to Star Ranch and thank you to those that were scanning that QR code when it popped up. It is the Outsiders on the Wednesday before Texas and Kansas State. Welcome to November. They say this is the time they remember. Mac Brown used to say that. Mac Brown hopes y'all forget October, by the way, and don't and hopefully remember what he's about to do at North Carolina, not what just happened. Georgia Tech and Virginia. I'm sorry. That was a personal laugh moment. All right. Dick move of the week. I don't think it's Mac Brown and his Tar Heels, but you never know. Jason Dick, give us our Dick move of the week. What do you got?
Well, I'm going to double dick move you guys, if that's all right. If you like the dick, the double dick, ready yourself.
Feel like we just met, but okay.
This sounds like an OnlyFans.
I feel like we're about to pick up a new sponsor from JJ's Sex Shop.
Actually, Mac Brown is slightly involved with number one because I want to talk about Dabo Swinney and the, I think is it called Tiger Calls? His weekly phone-in program where he takes calls from fans of the program. And this week somebody called, I believe it was Tyler, who called and asked why he's getting paid $11.5 million when he is 4-4 this season. Yeah. And Dabo Swinney quickly interrupted him and then proceed. If you have not heard it, I encourage you, please take 5 minutes of your life. Yes, it's 5 minutes. Dabo Swinney takes 5 minutes to yell at a fan of his program about what an incredible job he has done there, which is not wrong, okay? About what an incredible job he has done in his life, about how he set a goal to be the first person in his family to go to college, and he did it, and then he wanted to be a coach, and he wanted to be married, and he's been married for 30 great years. Take that, Tyler.
He got out of the bed from his mother and got married 30 years ago.
Now, let's be clear, Jason, when you say it's a double dick move of the week, I think both of these guys need a little bit of attention. The caller went for 2 minutes. He didn't get cut off quickly.
Okay.
He went for 2 minutes. He called Dabo's religion into question and said, did he know this particular Bible verse? And then he told him that something changed after he won a national championship.
And I agree. If Dabo wants to cut him off and correct him, that's absolutely fine. But going at a guy for 5 minutes and continuing to question his age and his maturity and all of these things, it is just, and I'll say everything that Dabo said is true. He's not wrong. He says that the expectation has grown higher than the appreciation, and that is a terrible problem that we college football fans have. On Monday's show, we talked for 15 minutes about whether or not Sark was right for the job. He's 7-1. Okay, that's the kind of a-holery that we participate in. But part of the job part of the reason you get the $11.5 million is that you will quickly and politely correct him and move on. You will not berate one of your fans for 5 minutes. That's not a good look for the CEO of the program. And I say to you, Dabo Swinney, dick move. And I always sort of like to think of college coaches in this way. What would Mac do? All right. I know Mac didn't win all the great games, but Mac Brown would never go for 5 minutes on one of his fans.
Well, and remember,
he'd tell you tackling is an epidemic, and that explains losses.
Remember the key element Mac took care of way before that would have happened. Mac didn't take the phone call.
Right.
That's the key. Mac, I guarantee you, Mac reached out to Dabo and said, dude, stop taking phone calls. And that's what he did.
Maybe the passion and the emotion, the chip on his shoulder that Dabo carries is why Clemson got so good. And he's right. 2 national championships in 7 years is unbelievable. But I just can't believe that, yes, a guy of his level would go on for 5 minutes at this guy. I was not impressed.
Well, it was his Mike Gundy moment. It really
was. It was the I'm a man moment.
The best part, Chad, I don't even know if you know who the gentleman is who hosts the show with him, but just lets him go for 5 minutes and then goes, amen.
Amen.
Well, but that guy knew that's radio gold.
Oh yeah. If you're sitting in his seat, your pants are getting tighter and tighter every second.
Back to the seat and you go, all right, have fun.
Of all the things a play-by-play guy could have said at the end of that, amen was particularly interesting after everything that had just happened. For him to put the period on the sentence with amen, like, okay, here we go.
See, I would have liked to seen Dabo. Like, this is where I think it gets really interesting, is if you're really, really good at it, he could have in 25 seconds whipped at that guy so hard and so kindly, just like kill him with kindness, but throw freaking daggers at him,
Yeah.
and then and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say
No,
yeah.
but-
I know that Bible verse. Thank you for being a fan, Tyler. You're welcome for the 2 national championships and the 12 straight 10-win seasons.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can bitch about it this year is because I've raised the expectations for being here. But I appreciate the fact that you're still listening. We're going to continue to work to get better.
Yeah.
But I think that was what got Dabo so animated. Yes, he's having a bad season. 4-4 is not Clemson's standard. It's not what their expectation was. There were even people that talked about them having a chance at being in the playoff. So it's frustration coming out, but it's beyond that because it's for his players too. And this is a recruiting pitch by Dabo along the way. He's defending his guys in a way that now has gone viral. And you don't think his players saw that all over their Instagrams and Twitter and be like, well, at least I know Coach has my back. Coach is willing to go fight on my behalf. And I think there's an ulterior motive there. That's why he went long. He wanted it to get picked up. He wanted to be the story on social media for a couple of days, defending his team. What you talked about, what was the words? I'm missing the emphasis of the fans.
Oh, appreciation versus expectation.
Yeah.
That's my point. He was showing his players he appreciated them by defending them publicly. And I think that was the move.
That is true. All right, before we hit one more break here on the show.
You want the double dick move? It'll be a quick.
That's true. We have the double dick move.
Hey, we're still shopping in Frederickson, Hollywood over here.
We're going to do a quick between dick move pause.
Okay.
While Blake, the super producer, tells us
a refractory
We
period.
should not be doing anything between with 2 dicks. Okay.
Blake, let's just take a breath. Let's take a breath. If you're going to do 2, you got to have a breath. You got to drink a little bit. Blake, the super producer, can you tell everybody what just happened while we were talking?
I can tell you that the Rangers have taken a 3-0 lead in the top of the 9th.
Okay. 3-0 top of the 9th. Big 2-run hit for the Rangers. That is what just happened. Now we've cleansed the palate. Double dick move of the week. What do you got, Jason?
Death. It's just death. I feel like it almost got me, but it did get Bobby Knight. And so, yeah, an all-time great. Bobby Knight has passed. Dick move, death. Dick move.
You're making me laugh at Bobby Knight.
It's the quote. It's the best Bobby Knight quote. I sent it to Blake earlier.
Yeah,
we have to find a way to incorporate this.
And if I'm not mistaken, Bo, I'm sure he said it many times. He said it in front of Indiana's, in the Indiana's arena when they were giving him an award or a certain wins or whatever. Yeah. When my time on earth is gone and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my ass. And that place exploded. You want to talk about an incredible pop? That was one of the biggest of all time. So Indiana fans, Texas Tech fans, college basketball, the community loses one of its absolute originals today. 83, I believe, for Bobby Knight. And I'm sure he was angry till the end.
Absolutely. You know who one of his good friends is one of my dad's good friends, Bill Parcells. So if you can imagine those two guys, they could have had so much fun over a bottle of whiskey, just coming up with ways to insult umpires and referees.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
I would love to see the post 18 in the bar arguing over who owed who money between those two.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Bullshit. You didn't make birdie on no 17. You were over in that bush. No, I
They're
won't.
throwing chairs across the clubhouse.
Oh
I
my
will come at
God.
you like a spider monkey, Bill Parcells.
Before we hit a little more on Texas football, Bo, let's get a little Mungia real estate here before we wrap up.
Ray Mungia and his team, they specialize in Central Texas. And he has a member on his team for all sections of Central Texas, whether it's Round Rock, Pflugerville, South Austin, Buda, Kyle, Cedar Park, Leander, Liberty Hill. Just scan the QR code. Go to the website. You can see the whole story on Ray and his team. They pride themselves on service. When Ray left the tech sector, he did so for a reason. He saw a void in the real estate market. There were too many real estate agents that just like to throw things on the MLS and leave it at that. Ray knew how to work and Ray knew how to sell. So he started his brokerage. And then he saw, I need to expand beyond Cedar Park. So he has a whole team. It's Mungia Real Estate. Just scan the QR code right there. I'd give you the number, but just scan the QR code. All the numbers are right there on the website. Mungia Real Estate.
All right, it is Outsiders on a Wednesday. By the way, Marcus Semien with a 2-run homer makes it 5-0 Rangers, top of the 9th. And Sandman chatting in score predictions for Bedlam, gentlemen. Oh, that'd be interesting. Anybody got a Bedlam thought? Oklahoma State for the last time in Stillwater. How about this? Show of hands, who thinks Oklahoma State is winning the game?
And I mean, I haven't really poured into that one yet, but I think that would be the fitting end because they should continue playing that game. It's nonsense they're not going to continue playing it.
Yeah. Well, here's what's weird. Like, you guys realize if you did the whole, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure y'all know this, on the house divided rivalry, A&M has won, is it 37 games? 35? Yes. Is that right, Chance?
37.
Right. It's like 60. Texas is 63-37 or 60.
Yeah, it's like right at 50%.
I think Oklahoma State's only won like 19
ever.
I mean, it is, you talk about weighted one way. So for them, like for the Aggies to have gotten the one in 2011 would have been a big deal because at least they would have been able to say, okay, we get the last one. You got the history of it. But if Oklahoma State can send them to the SEC on a win and continue, Chance, the idea of Big 12 title, now they obviously can't go to the playoff, but the idea that they could maybe head towards Jerry World, man, that'd be incredible.
It'd be phenomenal. And look, to Jason's point, I think you say they got to continue it. Well, we said the same thing about A&M and Texas, and then there was a lot of animosity between the two from one leaving, and it caused all sorts of a rift. I mean, there was something involved with the Longhorn network, and there's a lot to that was under the scenes. It's the same type deal. Oklahoma's main rivalry is still the Red River with Texas. Mm-hmm. Much like Texas and Texas A&M, Bedlam is more like A&M and Texas. And it's a little bit more hatred, I believe. But weird things happen in Stillwater. And I was the beneficiary in 2001 of a Big 12 championship appearance because a dominant Oklahoma team went into Stillwater and got beat. And so weird things happen. And right now, I think Oklahoma State's trending in a better direction than Oklahoma is. That's just the way that's what my eyes tell me just watching the two teams play.
Yeah. And I know it's going to sound dumb, gentlemen, but y'all know I'm right. That game's got one thing that favors Mike Gundy. It will kick in the daytime. That is a big deal. 2:30 kick is good. That man freaks out when the game starts under lights. I don't know what it is.
He hates it.
He cannot deal with a night game, but a game that starts in the day and works its way towards nighttime, I think he might be okay there.
And you remember who the head coach was when we snuck in there, don't you?
Was it Les Miles?
It was Les Miles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say, was there a Woods involved in that?
There was.
Rashawn. Was it Rashawn?
Was it Rashawn Woods?
Rashawn, yeah.
And you're right. OU was what, 1, 2, 3, somewhere? I mean, they were badass.
They were up there too, I believe.
Yeah, they were a badass team that year. So, that is going to be on Saturday. What a huge weekend of college football. You got 4 ranked matchups, but in the Big 12, you got Texas and K-State back-to-back with Bedlam, and the winners of those games obviously will be in a huge position to get to Jerry World. We all know what Brett Yormark wants to see. He wants to see Kansas State and Oklahoma State. The folks in Austin and Norman want Yormark to be sad. They want a little Red River.
Hold on. I got to stop you. The folks in Austin want one end of the scenario, not the other. I don't give a damn what the folks in Norman, but if you're sitting in Austin, Texas, and rooting for Oklahoma in any capacity, something is wrong with you. You either need more brown water or less brown water, but you need a different ratio of the water.
Yeah, no part of you wants to avenge the loss, Bo? You know, you don't want
to flying fuck about avenging the loss. I want to win a trophy, and I don't want them to win a trophy. So, however, that's
all you have to do to stop that from happening is beat their ass when it matters.
Yeah,
you know what? If they don't make the game, they have no chance of making a trophy.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go against you on this one, Bo. That's fine. Because there's nothing. Look, we've watched the other end of that spectrum. We've been on the losing end of that one, and it sucks.
Well, this Saturday, if at my house, if you start running around yelling "Boomer Sooner," I will kick you square in the balls. That's on the
You have to
record.
catch me, Bo.
Yeah.
I'll let Razor break your ankle like he did Jason.
He
Evan
would
will
have
hold
to
you
catch
down, and I'm
me.
going to stomp on your balls.
I'm 6'3", 250 pounds of fun. Good luck.
Well, I'm 6'4", 200. Well, I weighed in today. I'm down to 235. So fuck off.
Nice.
Now I'm only
Good
235, but I'll get Abbott's fat ass and we'll take you together.
All right. Now we've devolved into Bo screaming about his own weight. I'm not sure what that says about a Wednesday show, but that means it's a what are you drinking Wednesday on the outside.
You're turning me all red again, champ.
That's what that means. All right. Let's go ahead and close. Let's go
Good.
ahead and close the doors here, gentlemen, so I can see if my Rangers finish this thing off. Bo, let's talk stuffed Cajun meat market, all the great food that people can get sent to them. Go get it. Go pick it up. Hit it.
Yes. For your tailgate, scan the QR code for the tailgate menu. If you want to see everything they have to offer, scan the specialty menu. And the one you want to hit right now, the website to pre-order your turducken right now. Get your turducken. If you've never had a turducken, it is the absolute best Thanksgiving meal you can serve your guests. It is a turkey, a duck, a chicken with sausage jambalaya in the middle. Doesn't get any better than that. It's a turducken. You've heard John Madden talk about it. Now get the real thing. It's stuffed Cajun meat market.
All right, get us out of here, Chad, so you can go celebrate
Sounds
your
good.
team's first
Real quick, Colton a Poncho shirt. There he is, ponchooutdoors.com. We will be back tomorrow for a Thursday edition of The Outsiders. We'll make our picks on Texas K-State and make our picks with the Bet US picks as well. Thanks to Blake, the super producer, for getting it done. Let's see if the Rangers can finish it off, and I might have an even bigger smile tomorrow night for The Outsiders. Until 9 p.m. tomorrow night, we are The Outsiders, and we are legitimately worth a